Let's say you're going through a tough marriage. Tensions are high. Maybe you're even considering separation. But here's the big question haunting you. The house we live in, it's in my parents' name. Can my wife still claim it as her residence under the law? If this question keeps you up at night, you're not alone. The fear of being forced out of your own family home, or worse, your parents being dragged into a legal mess, is real. And today we are breaking down the truth. Not myths, not WhatsApp advice, the real legal position. Backed by case laws and explained in a way that makes sense, not just to lawyers but to you. Let's begin with why this issue is so emotionally charged. Many of you wrote in with concerns, false allegations, DV complaints, legal notices arriving out of nowhere. But beneath it all is one core anxiety. Will she have the right to stay in my parents' house, even if it's not mine? And this fear isn't irrational. It comes from real cases, but also from a lot of half-baked knowledge. Today, I'll explain what the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005 really says and how Indian courts have interpreted the phrase shared household. Because that's the real game changer. What is a shared household? Section 2S of the DV Act defines shared household as a household where the woman lives or has lived with the respondent in a domestic relationship. But here is where it gets tricky. Does that mean any house where she lived with her husband, even if it belongs to the husband's parents, is a shared household? Short answer, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Let me explain. In the famous case S.R. Batra and another versus Taruna Batra in 2007, the Supreme Court said something very significant. It held that a wife has no right to reside in a property exclusively owned by the parents-in-law if the husband has no legal right or share in that property. Sounds clear, right? But wait, there is more nuance. Later judgments like Satish Chander Ahuja versus Neha Ahuja in 2020 took a broader view. The Supreme Court in this case held that even if the property is owned by in-laws, if the husband has a right of residence, say he was living there permanently, then the wife may also have a right to reside there under the TV Act. So it's not about the title deed, it's about possession, about control, about how the household is treated in practice. Let's break this down into practical factors that courts will look at. First, ownership. Is it your parents' self-acquired property or did your father gift or will it to you? 2. Permanent residence. Did you live there permanently after marriage or was it a short stay? 3. Financial control. Who pays the bills? Who maintains the home? 4. Intent. Was it ever intended that this would be a marital home? Courts will assess the totality of circumstances. It's not black and white. So now you might be thinking, okay, but what should I do if I'm in this situation? Here are some practical steps you can take. Keep ownership documents safe. If it's your parents' house, keep records that show it's theirs. Maintain clear financial records. Prove who pays what. Avoid mixing finances. Don't put your wife's name on utility bills unless necessary. If there is trouble brewing, consult a lawyer early, not after things explode. Involve your parents legally. A suit for eviction by the real owner, your parents, have better chances. Remember, reactive decisions are expensive. Preventive ones are powerful. Here's the bottom line. The law is not against you, but it will test you. If your wife is living in a house owned by your parents, her right to residence is not automatic. It depends on the facts. The courts are evolving from rigid definitions to practical realities. And if you're informed, prepared, and calm, you will come out stronger. If this video helped you, take a second to like it. Not for me, but for the next person who might be struggling silently. And if you want more real, no nonsense legal guide, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And I'm here to make the law to make sense. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments. You never know, your story might help someone else get clarity too. Take care. Bye.